is The Guilty, Jake Gyllenhaal's movie. Um, so yeah, all right. So I think most people have kind of missed this movie because they haven't seen any marketing for it or any kind of promotion from Netflix. Certainly, I haven't seen any trailer or anything from it, and the trailer for it I think came out a while ago, and um, I just got to know this from you actually. And the only thing that got me interested was the description there on the screen here, and obviously because it's a Jake Gyllenhaal movie, so he's always good in everything. So I just decided to watch it, and I
Yeah.
thought this movie was pretty good, and I thought that the way it's shot, the way it's edited, and the score of this movie made it seem like a very intense movie. And most of the movie is it's mostly focused on Gyllenhaal's character, because there's certain stuff happens that happens outside of the location he's in, but the camera isn't on him the entire time, and it still does a very good job at keeping you engaged in the story, and um, describing what's happening, pulling off the twists that happen, and the way the way his character reacts to what's going on. And sorry, I'm just trying to not spoil the movie. So yeah,
Yeah.
so that's how it's the concept is based on, and I thought it was very very well executed. And it's a very one location movie for the most part, and it has different characters, but we mostly hear just their voices. And from the audio, we have to imagine what the other side is like, other side of the phone calls. So yeah, I thought it
Yeah.
was very, very well executed in that manner, because it is very, very hard to pull off doing this. A single location, mostly a single character, just talking and telling us the story, right? Just audio based storytelling in a movie, and you don't have much visuals to work with, so it's a very hard thing to do, and I thought it was done pretty well. And when you put it on paper like that, I know that studios will panic because there's not much to say here, based on what you're describing. But there actually was, and the twists are pretty awesome. The voice, the audio narration part of the other side of the phone call is pretty awesome. It really gets you into that scenario, and you can definitely visualize what's happening on the other side. And I thought it was very very well done, and I would definitely recommend this movie. um it's one of the best Netflix original films, I think. And yes,
Yeah.
this is one of those that you would not say fall into the average Netflix movie category. It's one of the great ones.
Yeah. It's directed by Anton Fuqua, who did Training Day, and this film is written by Nick Pizzolatto, who did who created True Detective. So True
Hmm.
Detective with Matthew McConaughey, Woody Harrelson. He was the writer for all three seasons, but like I look at this guy as a genius because that first season of True Detective is the greatest single season of television history. It's just a masterpiece. It's absolutely brilliant. He wrote that. I was excited. Now this is a remake of a Danish movie of the same name, but of course Antoine Fuqua, Nick Pizzolatto come in. They bring their own ideas to it. So basically, the premise for the Danish film is basically the same, in that. But this film was shot at the start of the pandemic, just in like when the pandemic was really bad. So that's why Jake Gyllenhaal's on his own for the entire movie. That's why you don't really get to see him interact with too many people. I think he only interacts what two or three people throughout the entire movie. And if you notice, Casey, everybody is is very socially distant. Um,
Yeah.
in the 911 call center, like there's loads of people working there, but they're deliberately 6 feet apart. I just found that funny while watching the movie because
Yeah.
um, they're not trying to be close. But anyway, so basically, he is a 911 operator. He gets a call from a woman who's in trouble. And basically, he's to try and solve this mystery all over phone by calling different cops around the city, keep in contact with the woman. Then he gets in contact with the woman's child. he's in contact with different cops on the side that he knows because he wants them to do, because he can't go out into the field to help this woman, so he gets a friend as well. So, um, but he's also dealing with some personal struggles, and his past starts to catch up with him in a way. Now, I think this is Jake Gyllenhaal's best performance since Nightcrawler, because if you just want to watch a movie to just see a great actor act, this is the movie to watch, because Jake Gyllenhaal is just on his own and he has to react to what's around him, the voices from the woman or from the different police officers or the people who are beside him in this 911 call center, and he has to react to absolutely everything. And at times, he just has to react to his own feelings and what he's dealing with. So I think it's his best performance since Nightcrawler.
Have you seen Nocturnal
And
Animals?
I have seen that.
Oh,
Yeah, he's really good in that. But I just think Nightcrawler is absolutely outstanding, and this is his best performance since then. But yeah, I understand that's a really good film as well. But um, there's a really dark twist as well, which I don't want to spoil. But like, I was sick to my stomach when the twist happened, because wasn't expecting this to come up in the movie. And when it hits, you're left, you're kind of in Jake Gyllenhaal's character's shoes, because he doesn't know what exactly to do. And you're thinking, if I was in that situation, what would I do now? So I did think that was very interesting. And it's really well directed. It's definitely one of the best next Netflix films, Casey. I really agree there, because a lot of the Netflix movies have been pretty bad, while all the shows are pretty great. But also, just kind of a fun fact about this movie is the director he had COVID, or he tested positive for COVID, so he couldn't direct the movie on set. So actually, he was in a van down the street watching them shoot on a monitor, and he was calling them and directing them from the van down the street.
wow.
So he was never in. He was never in the room with Jake Gyllenhaal or the other actors. He was in a van watching it on a monitor, directing it from a monitor. That's insane. That's
It
pretty
is.
cool.
And
So I
also,
found that very
to your
interesting.
point of, having the COVID protocols in the movie itself, kind of, the social distancing aspect. There's also one more event that was pulled into the movie from reality, is the Chicago fires. So there's a huge fire
Yep.
going on in the background. That's not necessarily a plot point, but it just is set in that time.
Yeah, and it kind of adds to it as well, because Jake Gyllenhaal is trying to help this woman, and he's calling police officers to go help her because she's in a certain situation, and they can't. There's not available units. There's not available police officers because they're all dealing with the fire. So that's a problem as well. So yeah, so that's a good point. And yeah, I think it's definitely worth a watch on Netflix. It's definitely worth.